Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a totally fascinating analytical journey. We are going to unpack Adele Penn's highly acclaimed work, The Art of a Quiet Mind with Positive Psychology. And look, I promise you, we are walking away today with a highly practical, scientifically backed toolkit that's literally designed to rewire your brain. We're going to figure out how to find profound inner peace, and honestly, the best part, you don't have to pack up and retreat to a mountaintop or give up your modern life to do it.
So, let me just start off by asking you a question. Does your mind ever feel like a super fast train with no brakes? You know the exact feeling I'm talking about. You're lying in bed, you are physically exhausted, just begging for sleep, but instead, you're trapped in this endless, agonizing loop of overthinking. Past regrets are stinging you, future anxieties are playing out like some terrible horror movie in your head. It basically feels like your mind is an incredibly noisy battlefield. And I just want to validate that right now. It is completely, totally exhausting. But what if we could actually turn that chaotic battlefield into a deep, calm ocean?
All right, let's get right into it. Section 1, the overthinking epidemic, and finding calm in the chaos.
Well, a massive misconception we tend to have is that achieving true peace means entirely emptying your mind of all thoughts. But hey, thinking is literally just what the mind does. True peace isn't about forcefully stopping those thoughts, rather it's learning how to just watch them. Imagine you're standing on a sidewalk watching passing cars. You see them going by, sure, but you don't throw yourself into the middle of the traffic, right? We have to learn to watch our thoughts roll by in that exact same way, without actually colliding with them. And this brings us to the whole foundational concept of positive psychology. It's a scientific approach that fundamentally flips the script. Instead of constantly obsessing over fixing our flaws, always trying to repair what we think is broken, positive psychology says, let's focus on building our inner strengths and really cherishing positive moments. It teaches us to harness the unique strengths we already have. Because when we focus on what we actually do well, our confidence naturally grows, and those mental tangles just begin to gently unwind.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, the magic of mindfulness and the beauty of the present moment. Now, what is really wild about mindfulness is just how accessible it actually is. You see, our minds so often act like a broken radio that is permanently jammed on a station broadcasting nothing but sad or scary news. We get completely trapped listening to past regrets or stressing endlessly about future what-ifs. And while we're stuck in that mental time travel, the actual present moment, it just slips right through our fingers. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being fully present in the current moment, entirely without judgment. It is absolutely not some mystical practice reserved just for monks meditating in secluded caves. Not at all. Mindfulness is right there in the warmth of your breath. It's in fully experiencing the flavors of your food during a meal, or simply feeling the solid ground right beneath your feet as you walk. And if your mind wanders, you don't yell at it. You just gently, patiently bring it back.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, unlocking emotional intelligence and making friends with your emotions.
Have you ever wondered why some people can stay cool as a cucumber during a total crisis, while others just completely lose it over the smallest little inconvenience? The secret there is emotional intelligence. Think of your feelings a lot like the weather. Sometimes it's a beautifully sunny day, sometimes it is absolutely pouring rain. Fighting your emotions or trying to shove them down is about as useless as trying to stop a rushing river with your bare hands. There's a profound difference between IQ, which is your intellectual capability and pure logic, and EQ, emotional intelligence. EQ is your self-awareness, your empathy, and your emotional regulation. And there is this amazing insight from the text. Simply naming an emotion literally halves its power. So if you're angry, just saying out loud, "I am feeling angry right now," instantly diffuses the intensity. And taking one deep breath before reacting, that small, tiny pause is the ultimate sign of self-regulation.
Let's dig into Section 4, rewiring with CBT, or upgrading your mental operating system.
Now, this is where we get into the highly practical, seriously actionable tools. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, isn't just a bunch of clinical jargon. It is the exact framework that the world's most successful, emotionally intelligent people use to build real mental toughness. It's essentially the cheat code to taking back control of your inner narrative. The absolute first step in this mental upgrade is recognizing what we call cognitive distortions. These are false, deeply negative thought patterns. A great example is all-or-nothing thinking. Believing you are either a flawless, total success or an absolute, miserable failure. Or mind reading, where you just assume someone is judging you even though you have zero actual proof. These distortions usually stem from old wounds or external societal pressures. But the reality is, our negative thoughts are very often just lies. By viewing them neutrally, like a third-party observer, we totally strip away their power over us. So when actualize.
So, how do we actually implement this change? Well, here are the steps for cognitive restructuring. Step 1. Catch the thought. Write it down on a thought record. Step 2. Act like a detective and look for real, hard evidence. Literally ask yourself, wait, is this thought actually true? And step 3, restructure the thought into something that is rational and balanced. This tool is a game changer because it empowers you to challenge your inner negativity right there in the courtroom of your own mind.
Next up is Section 5, the power of self-compassion and becoming your own best friend.
We've really got to confront a pretty bitter truth about how we treat ourselves. We are almost always kinder, way more patient, and significantly more forgiving to other people than we are to ourselves. If a friend makes a mistake, we comfort them, right? But when we make a mistake, we instantly become our own absolute harshest critics. There's a huge difference between self-esteem and self-compassion. Self-esteem is often super fragile because it depends heavily on our external successes and, frankly, what other people think of us. But self-compassion? That is unconditional self-acceptance. It means literally holding your own hand when you fail. True, lasting peace comes from treating yourself with the exact same warmth and understanding you would naturally offer a best friend who's having a hard time.
And that brings us to our final major theme. Section 6, Building Resilience and Joy, Bouncing Back and Finding Your Purpose.
Here, we're going to look at how to actually master our body's physical stress responses and construct a long-term, meaningful happiness that sustains that newly quieted mind of ours. The biology of modern stress is genuinely fascinating. We have our fight-or-flight mode. Now today, we aren't usually running from hungry predators. Instead, our bodies are triggering this massively exhausting stress mode over simple things like, work deadlines and traffic jams. But thankfully, we also have our parasympathetic system. This is the body's natural built-in brake system. Techniques like progressive muscle relaxation or taking deep, intentional breaths act as vital peace messengers to your brain, literally, physically turning off that stress alarm.
And think of resilience exactly like a rubber band. It is absolutely crucial to understand that resilience is not some innate superpower you are simply born with. No way. It is a learned skill. It's the ability to bounce back to your original shape after being totally stretched out by life's difficulties. We actively build this skill by finding positive hope in dark times and choosing to actually learn from our failures.
Now, to construct that lasting joy, the source breaks down Martin Seligman's famous PERMA model. Because deep peace, it requires a blend of ingredients. It isn't just about experiencing positive emotions. It also requires deep engagement in your daily activities, strong relationships that are built on active listening, meaning, which is a larger purpose beyond just yourself, and finally, a sense of accomplishment. When you cultivate these 5 specific areas, the anxious noise in your mind naturally, effortlessly fades away.
A vital part of that engagement piece is what Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi calls the flow state. Flow is that incredible experience of being so deeply engaged in a meaningful, challenging task that you literally lose track of time, hunger, and anxiety. Whether you're painting a canvas, cooking a meal, or writing code, when you tap into your signature strengths, you create this state of pure, uninterrupted presence where worries simply cannot exist.
So let's summarize all of this into your practical daily toolkit, because these small habits, they work like absolute magic over time. Number 1. Keep a nightly gratitude journal. Science literally shows this boosts dopamine and serotonin. Number 2, practice just 2 minutes of morning breathing before you even touch your smartphone. 3, ground yourself by walking barefoot in nature. 4, practice active listening to really deepen your relationships. And finally, number 5, set healthy boundaries. Think of them as a beautiful, protective fence around a garden. As we wrap up this explainer on Adele Payne's remarkable book, I want to leave you with this incredibly reassuring quote. You don't need perfection, you just need to begin. And that beginning can happen today. Look, rewiring your mind is a lifelong journey, and it takes patience. If you stumble, if you slip back into old habits, do not scold yourself. Those relapses, they aren't failures, they're just learning curves on your road to mastery. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you ready to step off that super fast train and become the master of your mind today? You've got the scientific map and the practical tools right in front of you. I challenge you to apply just one single habit from this toolkit today. Embrace that quiet ocean within you and just watch how it transforms your entire world. Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today.